So there we are. Just change the light in there so you can see stuff. Look at this lovely little squirrel though. So you can get into focus. Squirrel smoking a pipe. So I've got a few miniatures on the go. Just put some washes over there and experiment with some speed paints. So they've already been primed. I just stuck a couple because I had some wash left over. I was doing some other bits and pieces today, including some Star Wars ships, which are kind of a bit hit and miss, but that's how we get on. There's a Boeing there flipping out. The light's a bit too bright again. That's one of those like cheapy little model kits. So I'm just about to start experimenting with taping things off and trying to get a decent paint job. So here's the Star Wars craft that I was talking about. So you've got Anakin's Starfighter there in the prequel. You can see Anakin. Let's see if we can focus that. Focus that there. Anakin there inside the cockpit. It's just in the process there. I haven't got any. I was going to try out some decal softeners for the decal. I was going to use some homemade stuff. I was trying to use some white vinegar, but it didn't work. But I think I might have to end up like there's a decal for the cockpit which I took off. I'm going to paint that in with the same colour paint on the ship. And there's a snow speeder. Just stick a wash over the top of that. It's got that sort of worn look. Might have to dial that back a little bit with some wire wool or something. Anyway, we'll see how that goes. That's still drying. I just put a wash on that just this moment. Here's a few finished figures on like a homemade base, which is quite pleased with. Just a bit of wood, and those slabs there are made out of pieces of thin foam and bits of cardboard there, and bought some like greenery. You see that as like a Iron Maiden figure from Somewhere in Time. Some Space Marines at the back there. Just trying to shove my camera in there. One in the back there as well. TIE Fighter, that's an old thing. So these are already on the video. On the channel. All these and the paint job. So these are quite old. I made this Mustang just recently, so I'm quite happy with that. I've done a rough paint job, but my eyes are going these days because I'm a bit of an old fart now, 53. So it's harder to paint these things. You can see in the back there, there's another Iron Maiden, Somewhere in Time. Is that Somewhere in Time, or is that, no, that's Power Slave. That's a Thundercats figure, they're pretty cool. So I'm like an 80s kid. There's some cheapy miniatures like that dwarf at the back there, just for practicing. I think I can remember what that set's from, that the one with the wings there. And what was that? I forget. And there's some characters from Game of Thrones, except it's what's the original name for it? Fire and Ice or something? I can't remember now. So there's a bear there and a chap with a bird on his hand, like a bird of prey. It's a bit dark there. I'm going to put some LED lights in there, so we'll do another video on this at some point. Dark Souls characters. Any fans of Dark Souls? Dark Souls is too hard for me, but I like the characters. The more sort of Elden Ring is more my sort of level, because you can actually level up as you go through. There's a Dark Souls character there, but I love From Software and the Dark Souls games and characters. I like Dark Souls 3, that's more sort of accessible to me. But Elden Ring is my favourite out of all of it. That's one of the best games of all time. One of these Japanese garage kits there, which is on the channel. I had to assemble one of those because it doesn't come with instructions. And also I think I got the paint job video as well. I need to sort that out because she leans back too far. Painted stone there. Right there, the lighting's a bit better now. So there's a Cypher Zero mask. This one here is already up on the channel because it's got an electronic thing, and there's a switcher somewhere. Where did I put it? There we go. So he's got a switch. Got a bit of a dodgy connection there with the light in. So that's Cypher Zero. That's an electronic music project. So that's for some music. You can check out Cypher Zero music on YouTube, which is kind of like a cross between well, well, sort of electronic music, synthwave, guitars, heavy industrial music and all that type of thing. Just a mixture of all sorts really, sort of computer stuff, computer game-ish music. This is a mask from his second album. So he goes through like a regeneration process, and this is the current incarnation, the middle one there with the headphones on. And there's a video how to create these effects here. So sort of Cypher Zero's got sort of like evolved into having his own colour scheme, which is kind of like a black metallic colour, along with that sort of orange industrial metal colour also. So that's obviously plastic, but we tried to get some metallic effects there on those on the panelling there. All I ought to do is put some dry brushing on the screws. Anyway, the album featuring this mask here, his latest incarnation, was actually out in December, and features another chap who does some remixes called Silver Sage. Does some great remixes, and the album's called Roguelike, which is kind of fashioned after the roguelike genre in gaming. Right, here we go. Right, we had it on the wrong setting, so that's clearing for the light. So there you can see these are half finished work in progress miniatures. As you can see there, that's Solaire from Dark Souls. Any Dark Souls fans out there? Got a Star Wars robot in the middle. So these are all works in progress, and this cyberpunk lady, which I think looks pretty cool. She's pretty cool, work in progress. Loads of works in progresses here. About some Iron Maiden stuff, Game of Thrones, Final Fantasy Chocobo there towards the back. A cool archer, Elverine archer, elf-like archer. Some of these miniatures are really cool. They're done by some independent folks. So there's a combination of all sorts of Warhammer thing at the back there. These obscure models. I can't remember who makes them. MB Games, is it, or something? And some of the Warhammer stuff there. A Horton plane that needs to be finished. We'll change the colours there. So that's the Horton Germany World War II German plane that apparently influenced the American stealth fighter. Bunch of paints there. And I'm gonna do this dragon at some point. Now, who made those? I can't remember who made those. That was on sale on Amazon at one point. That's why I bought it. It's quite a big dragon, but I want to stick some primer over the top. I did put a little bit of primer on there, but the red isn't standing out enough, and I want to use the speed paints on that particular dragon. And there's a bit of a rough HMS Bounty there that I need to finish off. That was a nightmare to build. Bit rough there. I used cocktail sticks to make the holes in the sails there, which I shouldn't have done. I've got one of those little tiny little drill things, hand drills. I should have used those for the sails, but kind of too fiddly for me. And the eyesight's not so good these days. Anyway, I shall finish that off at some point. He's just hidden behind there. So plenty to do. I think, is there anything else? I've got an R2-D2 which I want to restore as well. He's up here. There he is there hiding away. So that was like a shampoo present. That was filled with shampoo, and I got that in either the end of the 80s or early 90s. So you can see it's gone yellow, but I want to restore that. It's a really good replica of R2-D2 as well, and I'd like to restore it and kind of make it look more sort of realistic. A bit battle damaged and all that malarkey. So there we are. There's an illustration I did. So this year I want to do some more illustrations. Got some goals to do more drawings and paintings. Yeah, here's another. And here's an oil painting that I started last year, which I want to get finished off and get into some more oil painting this year also. I want to put some sort of like saliva, kind of drippy stuff over the top of this eye painting, and that'll be finished. So I was kind of using that as an experiment to get myself back into oil painting. I quite enjoyed it, so got plenty of ideas for this year, but that'll be on my art channel. I'm sure some model making folks will be interested, there's like a Jet Set Willy thing, anybody from the 80s. Like my childhood was the 80s, I was born in 73, so I'm 53 this year. And anybody from my era probably recognise all this stuff. Starquake, that was a great game, 8-bit game. Just a daft play on the Rubik's Cube theme, Rubik's Lube. So I hope everybody's well. We'll get on with these models along with other few things tonight, Saturday night. I will leisurely paint. Anyway, hope everybody's well. More to come on the channel at some point. Happy New Year, and over and out for now.